Hey, I got a confession. Been losing all momentum.
What's up, everybody? Functional pump conditioning. Stop thinking that conditioning is going to ruin all of your muscular gains. It all comes down to how you program your conditioning workouts so that they not only enhance your muscular definition, but give you a great base of fitness for your cardiovascular system so you can stay lean year round. Check out how we do it right now.
Let me get hurt. Can we take it back to 95? Before we had this drama in our lives.
Hey, I'm glad you're joining me for this functional pump conditioning workout. It's going to be 10 minutes. We're gonna use kettlebells. We're gonna use a bike. I told you that today was about leg day. We're gonna show you how you can use a conditioning workout to build muscle, and there are 3 key points to this style of workout. Number 1, slow down and focus on the contraction. When you move really fast in conditioning workouts, when you're prioritizing your lungs and getting your heart rate up, you're not necessarily prioritizing quality muscle contractions. Remember, moving against resistance, contracting muscle tissue, that is what's going to stimulate it to grow. We can do that inside conditioning workouts. The second most important thing is loading selection. Now, when you do conditioning workouts, many of you are used to picking lighter loads so that you can move fast and prioritize your cardiovascular capacity, your lung capacity, your blood flow. In a functional pump conditioning workout where we're trying to combine conditioning with muscular growth, we need to pick loads that are slightly heavier. Heavier so that you get the stimulus that I was talking about, the quality muscle contractions that are gonna create some adaptation, but not so heavy that you're going to compromise your technique, your position as you move through this. The last thing we want is a conditioning workout with heavy weights that puts you at risk of getting injured and sidelining your training for any length of time. The third and final piece that is important when we're doing functional pump conditioning, we want movement redundancy. We want multiple squat patterns. We want to use squats with something like the bike that is complementing each other by hammering the same motor pattern, the same muscle group like the legs, so that we build cumulative fatigue, metabolic stress in the muscles, the metabolic stress from the bike as you go into squat, lunge contractions is going to compound on one another and create the stimulus that's going to get you muscular growth. This functional pump conditioning workout is ideal for leg development as well as building some cardiovascular fitness, some metabolic health. Let's break down some of the movements that are going to be in this workout. Okay, like I said, we are using kettlebells and the bike erg. I've got 2 kettlebells here. You want to find matching weights. These are 24 kilograms or 53 pounds each. You can scale that down as necessary, and I'll talk about how you might go about loading selection. There are going to be 4 weighted movements that we are going to do in this workout, and they're all going to be sequential. So we call this a kettlebell complex. The first movement is going to be a dual swing. The second movement is going to be a dual kettlebell clean. From here, I'm going to go into a reverse alternating lunge. And then I'm going to finish with a squat. Between sets on the kettlebell, I'm going to be riding for calories on the bike. I encourage you to find a seat height of this that gets your leg almost to full extension at the bottom and slide yourself forward slightly on the seat so that your body weight is directly over the pedals. It's going to prioritize the quads in this workout. So lunging, squats, swings, cleans, all of this is going to be a combination of glutes, hamstrings, and quads throughout the entire duration of this 10-minute workout. And now let's break down a little bit of how the movements are going to be combined. What's the workout complex look like? So as I said, it's going to be 10 minutes. 10-minute, starting with a 10-calorie bike. Right off the bike, we're going to go into 8 swings. 8 swings into 6 cleans. 6 cleans into 4 lunges. 4 lunges into 2 squats. So that'll keep the rep scheme relatively simple. It's 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. When I finish those 2 squats, I'm back on the bike. You're gonna continue this for the full 10 minutes. The goal is to accumulate as many rounds as you can in that 10 minutes with quality movement. The difference between going all out and trying to get as many reps as possible in 10 minutes and dialing it back to about 85 or 90% of your maximal effort, the difference is that you're going to sustain really good quality of contractions. Your breathing rate, your blood output, your heart rate is going to be up. All of that is going to be creating metabolic stress in the muscle tissue that we're working. Then applying that metabolic stress to eccentric and concentric contractions with the kettlebells, so dynamic lifts. That right there is this powerful combination of conditioning with functional bodybuilding movements that can enhance at the same time, simultaneously, muscular growth and metabolic conditioning. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump into this workout.
Okay, technique tip, training tip, workout tip number 1. When you're doing movements like kettlebell swings that you're seeing right now, the key is to try and match your breathing with every repetition. Check out my cheeks. I'm blowing out or breathing in on every single repetition. What that does is it's going to help me to match the cadence of the movement, keep my heart rate in check, and not restrict my breathing, which if you restrict your breathing when you're doing movements like this, it will elevate and spike your heart rate. You'll get into panic breathing and you'll have to take more breaks. You won't be able to sustain as long in the workout. When I'm completing a 10-minute piece like this, I always like to glance up at the clock after the first round is done. It helps me get a quick check on what my pace is, and I can start to estimate roughly how much work am I going to be able to accomplish in this 10 minutes. The goal I always set for myself is to find a pace within the first round of a workout like this that I can match for the next 10 minutes or the remainder of the workout. And in this case, that first round took me about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So here I am thinking to myself in my head, I've got about 6 rounds that I'm going to try and accomplish, maybe with a few reps at the end.
my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time.
Certain movements have a very high cadence or a quick turnover rate. The dual kettlebell swing is one of those movements. The cycle time between repetitions is relatively quick. And so in those first 8 repetitions of this kettlebell complex, you can start to get fatigued very fast because the reps are happening without much rest. That is why on the first clean of each complex, I always like to pause at the top, hold the rack position for a minute, and just catch my breath. It might be 2 or 3 seconds only, or maybe even less, but that brief pause helps me to kind of calm down and stay focused on good quality contractions while I'm still getting this metabolic benefit.
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm freer than I've ever been before.
A technique point to think about when you're doing dual kettlebell swings, the kettlebells, because there's 2 of them between your legs, you are going to have to spread your legs a little wider than you would typically in a swing or another single arm or a single kettlebell maneuver that you're going to complete. This might put you in a slightly uncomfortable position if you're not used to it, but the alternative is keeping your feet too close and those kettlebells potentially banging into your knees, which is quite uncomfortable.
Call my name, I'm never gonna stop if you just call my name. I'm never gonna drop it, gonna take it to the top. Gonna make it hot, gonna make it till it drops. Never gonna pick it up, gonna take it to the top. I'm gonna make it, never gonna fake it. Gonna make it, never gonna fake it. We gonna take it, 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 top. I'm gonna take it to the top. I'm gonna take it to the top. I'm gonna make it to the top. We're gonna make it to the top. We're gonna bring our hands up. 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 I'm gonna make it hot. Gonna make it till it drops. Never gonna pick it up. Gonna take it to the top. I'm gonna
we're starting to get into the later rounds, you can tell a little bit by the expression on my face and how I'm doing very forced exhalation and inhalation with my breath that I'm starting to feel quite fatigued. And I know that I only have about a minute left in the workout. Therefore, I'm trying to sustain this pace. If I was feeling that level of fatigue halfway through this workout, I would intentionally dial myself back down, because the goal is to finish a workout like this with your composure so that you can still do the same quality repetitions, keep your technique extremely high when you get to the weighted maneuvers. It is a good thing to think about at about the halfway point and about the 2/3 point in a workout. How am I doing? Am I getting over fatigued? Am I looking like I'm going to start to crumble towards the last final minutes of a workout like this? And at that point, auto-regulate, turn the dial back and lower your intensity, slow down just a moment so that the last few moments or the second half of the workout is a huge benefit to you and it doesn't detract from your fitness, introduce possible injury risk, and then have you sidelined from training.
Okay, just some brief thoughts after that workout is over. I just got done, 3 minutes since I finished. 3 points. Number one, I'm already getting close to recovered in terms of my breathing, my heart rate. I didn't need to drop to the floor and writhe in pain from lactic acid overdose. My legs are still feeling very, very juicy, and that they definitely got a great stimulus. Additionally, because this kettlebell complex was close to, 20 repetitions long, and I did all of those sets unbroken, my upper back and my shoulders got a pretty good workout as well. Although that was not the main focus, it definitely was a complement to the leg intensive nature of these movements. Second review point, this 10 calories went by relatively quickly, and it was just enough to get the breathing up and to get some blood flushed in and out of the legs. I like this complementary nature of bike and lower body movements because you can control your output on the bike, and because you're doing that cyclical nature of running through stroke after stroke, pedal stroke after pedal stroke, getting your legs to work, you're flushing out some of those lactic acid metabolites and things like that from the squats, which allows you to come back and hit it with not freshness, but feeling a little bit more confident and ready for your next set. My last point is control your breathing. It's not something that's talked about a lot. The control of breath is often mistaken for slowing your breath down. Controlled breath versus slow breath are not one and the same. Control means that you are in control of the pace and the rate by which you're breathing. When you try and hold your breath in workouts like this, you'll end up getting frantic because your brain is saying, I'm out of oxygen, I have too much CO2. And you start to get into panic breathing. Panic breathing is not optimal for functional pump conditioning because it distracts you from what you should be focused on, which is the quality of your muscle contractions. On every repetition of my kettlebell movements today, I was conscious and aware of which muscle groups were firing, staying balanced, and keeping my movement quality really high. I can't do that when I'm breathing extremely fast. So controlling your breathing from the get-go means finding a rhythm, making sure you're keeping the pace up so as to not constrict how much oxygen you're getting in or restrict how much oxygen you're getting in, which will lead to frantic panic breathing later on. But start off with a good cadence to your breath. Okay, I hope you enjoyed functional pump conditioning today. This is just one of many examples that we have at Functional Bodybuilding. Head over to our website, linked below. You can get our functional pump conditioning ebook, which is 60 unique workouts just like this that are targeted to combine conditioning with muscle building workouts that will allow you to combine those weight training movements and the cardiovascular stuff that you have been told is totally inappropriate if you're trying to gain muscle size. Let me show you how that is not true and how you can gain muscle size, grow hypertrophy, and keep your metabolic conditioning elevated. Catch you next time.